Lately I was rewatching a bunch of season 8 episodes for a big upcoming video. I won't spoil what it is, but something I was thinking of, especially considering I watched it right after I finished season 7 for that video. Man, Sodor feels so limited in scope in this season. And I was wondering what really caused that, and I think I quickly learned what it is after really thinking about it. So today I'm going to talk about the problem with the Steam team. I want to make this clear before we start. I don't really hate any of these members. Well, maybe I might hate what they become, but I really like Audrey's first 7 characters a lot. They're amazing. Oh yeah, and I guess Emily exists too. But anyway, now to get on to my biggest issue regarding the Steam team concept overall. A thing that was introduced back in season 8 to centralize the main cast and put them above pretty much any other character that exists within the series at the time. When going through season 8, I think it's clear they wanted to reestablish the main characters as the main characters. Looking back at every previous season, it was slowly starting to focus a little less on the main 8 all the time and more focus on prominent secondary characters throughout, which I always liked quite a bit. It felt like a general ensemble, and it had a magic to it that I felt like any character could be the main one. When season 8 came around, it was clear that these 8 characters would pretty much be the only ones we would see for almost the entire season. Not only that, but I feel like because they have to be the central cast, they're now forced into archetypes, even if they had grown out of them at that point. Percy is now the baby. Thomas is the squeaky clean mascot. Edward is unfortunately the warrior. Toby also the warrior. And yeah, I think you get what I mean from here. They all have to fulfill a role as the central cast, where when there were like 20 different engines in the island, it felt like all of them could grow and change because, well, we bounced from character to character so often, and it didn't really matter. Sodor also just generally feels limited as an island whenever these main 8 are like major focuses because they kind of all have to be around each other, or a lot of them have to be in big group shots. So you'd never really see Thomas, Percy, or Toby working on the Farquhar branches. It's rare Henry ever pulls the Flying Kipper or does any real jobs that would make sense for him to do. Gordon still pulls the Express, but that's way too mandatory for him. And generally, I feel like they're all just given random odd jobs because, well, you have to follow them and they have to pull things so that kids will want to buy toys with them. As an island, Sodor starts to feel really limited because all we really see are like Knapford, Brendam Docks, Tidmouth Sheds, and maybe a few other minor locations, but we never really get to see small branch lines. Like we rarely see Edwards, we rarely see Thomas's, definitely not the Little Western. We do see the narrow gauge line, but that's besides the point. And generally, Sodor just feels like a tiny island in these seasons. I feel like it loses a lot of that grandness the show once had, where it felt like such a vast island with endless possibilities to explore, whether it be seeing something abandoned, seeing a side with the Westerns, seeing a little fun beach setting. And while these things do pop up every now and again in this later half of the run, it really feels shrunken because we have to only focus on these main 8 characters, and they're limited to what locations they can go to. Especially in Thomas's case, we only really see who he gets to meet almost every day now that the show is hyper focused on him. I get he's the main character, but still. Just in general, though, I feel like the Steam Team concept hurt the series overall because it limited the scope of the island and made it just feel like a tiny island with 8 engines running around, instead of having around 20 to 30 where every part of the island felt like it was covered in some way. Tell me what you guys think of the Steam Team, and thank you guys for watching, and take care.